know is bad for transmitting bugs. I will just jump over to the other group. So you guys have gone with Propellerhead into his garage, where his deck is on a workbench, all pulled apart, and he points to it like, I don't know what's going on here. I'm so sick of looking at this thing. I don't know how to fix this fucking deck, and I can't afford another one. I can't even steal another one because KE. So, I don't know, can you guys help me fix it? And there's like broken deck cases and, boxes of electrical parts that are sort of half to a third full. And it's a little bit messy, but if you were to look through things, you might find what you're looking for.
All right. Well, I'll just say, yeah, I used to mess with this stuff a little bit when I was a kid. I'll see what I can do. And I guess you're gonna make me roll for something, right?
So, how do you normally interface with your car?
With my car, I usually
rig
use, I usually use AR, but I do have 5 points in electronic skill group.
Yep.
Yeah, give you hardware, which is explicitly the skill to repair and take apart hardware.
Right.
Yeah. So what you can do is you could take a universal data cable, and you could probably plug your comlink into your deck, and try to call for diagnostics using your comlink. And that would initially be because you're trying to interface with it. Oh, there's no power. You've been told there's no power, so you're gonna roll hardware to begin with.
Okay, I'll roll the hardware right now. Give me a second to find it.
All good. I hope you guys weren't feeling left out for a little bit. Let me know if the pacing's off. I can adjust to suit. This is my first run.
Oh,
really?
You're doing good.
Nah, man, it's all good.
It's fantastic.
I like your characters, actually. You're doing a great job.
Yeah.
I've made up all of these on the fly.
Really? No kidding.
Yes. Apart from Lucy and Jake, because I wanted to use Jake the Mus from Once for Warriors.
No, I liked it because like the guy that brought us in, he'd always tell jokes, like really bad puns. Lucy's like super hospitable. Jake's got some problems. Propellerhead's a teenager. You've got these personalities pretty down pat, so that's pretty good.
I liked the Jake confrontation. That was
really cool.
Yeah, that was really tense.
Yeah.
As long as you guys are not feeling like you're just sitting there waiting for me to.
I'm just waiting for my next chance to blow it, trying to bind a spirit. I can't even try anymore. I don't have the reagents.
All right, there's my roll. 2 successes.
Yeah. So your first thing you do is you're like, okay, I'm gonna connect a data cable in and see and call up diagnostics, and of course there's no power to it. You make sure that it's plugged in, and there's still no power to it. And based on the description that he gave you at breakfast, it sounds like the power supply's failed. So you know that the power supply's failed.
Right.
The deck in question is a mid-level deck. We'll give the kid a chance. Decking, where's the deck of stuff? Oh, yeah. And so you sort of think to yourself, I need a power supply. And Propellerhead looks over your shoulder like really eagerly. And he's like, what'd you find?
Well, looks like we need a power supply. You know where I can get one of those?
I got a couple of broken, we collected some old deck casings. We just found thrown out broken old decks, and they're all slagged and melted. We sort of scavenge them, but KE like to come in and break them. They like to make sure that we don't have access to the outside world. It's sort of their thing, man. They don't want us to, something about keep children's minds away from something or other. I don't know. So I've got these cases here, and there's we just I scavenge electrical parts. There's boxes of electrical parts. We should probably take the case off it though, and at least take the power supply out and see if we can even fix it, because some of these are internal units and stuff. And so you do that, and the other hit that you got on that hardware test I have a cat trying to sleep on my arm. Get off. Bastards. So you with that other hit, you pull the case off using some tools, and you have a really good look at the cyber deck, and you can see that the power supply is removable. And you actually think to yourself, "Oh, I could probably do it. It's not that different to a drone, really, or working on my car." So, I mean, it's just electronics, right? You feel pretty okay about that.
Okay, then yeah, I'll
So,
try and do that.
all right. So you're going to take the power supply out.
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll take the power supply out, no problem. You will correctly ground yourself so you don't fry the rest of the board if it's not already fried, and you'll show it to.
Propeller.
Correct me, who's to propeller head? Someone else is with you as well.
Oh, I'm there, but I know nothing about stuff.
Oh, okay. So jacket you the power supply, and it's got in the molded plastic case, it's got the specifications, how your things for your electronics nowadays, they have 1200 volts slash the rating, the power the specs for them.
Yeah.
And you're you need one of these. And then there's all these boxes, and you could search the room. There's cases, so you could definitely help. You might not know anything about fixing it, but you certainly might know how to find things.
Alrighty, I'm gonna visualize and search.
Sure thing. So that's just perception.
Visual.
And I'm happy to make it an extended test as well, because you've got to go through boxes. So I'll say that for every 10 minutes is one search. And that's going through one box, examining each of the items, putting it back, so you don't have boxes of parts everywhere on the ground. Cool. So 1 to 20 minutes. So you lose one dice every time you re-roll an extended test, I believe.
Oh, whoops.
So the next one will need to be at 8.
Ooh, I'm not doing well.
Yeah, so you're slowly you get through the first box, it's just wiring and keyboards and data cables and stuff, and that's all right. That's all right. Stop rolling for a sec. The second one you go through, and you'll find a power supply, but it's the wrong. It doesn't seem to be the same sort of part as the other power supply, but you do put it aside, and you have the same sort of experience as the first box with your second 2 rolls, and that's about half an hour that you've spent there. Jacket, while you're names of characters escape me. Bishop, whilst Bishop goes through boxes, would you like to go through the cases of the?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So you can do the same thing. You can. What would you use to assess the status of hardware? So there's 3 decks there that are in various states of disrepair and damage. And what you can do is you can inspect each one using perception to get an idea of the overall, or you can inspect the 3 with perception, and then each of them will be a hardware roll individually.
Okay, so first roll perception?
Yep, just roll perception. I'll give you a description per hit.
Visual perception, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And tactile, because you'll be able to touch them and smell them.
That's a pretty good roll.
That's great. So you inspect each of the 3 decks, and you're away because it looks like the power supply caught fire. So you rule out one of those. The other 2 decks, one's got a really smashed keyboard, like someone's taken a crowbar or a club or a rifle butt, maybe, who knows? And they've just smashed the plastic fascia and just smashed it. You would doubt that it would fire up. It wouldn't actually work. It looks fairly damaged, at least electronically, but you'd need to roll hardware to determine that. And the other one has had much the same treatment, but it's like they've tried to melt or set on fire the power board. Not the power board, the printed circuit board inside. So roll me 2 hardware for the other 2, for the remaining 2 decks.
2 hardware? Okay.
Yep, so 2 separate hardware checks.
All right. So for the first one, Another good roll.
That's a great roll.
And for the second one, not bad.
Yep. Okay. So the 2 successes roll, you have a really good look at the one where it seems like the half of it was set on fire, not the power supply side, but the side of it that has like all the electronics and printed circuit boards and stuff. And you just take a straight look and you're like, no, that is so geeked. We can't fix that. However,
All right.
the one that looked like it got all smashed up with a crowbar or blunt implement, you like the look of that one. You think you might be able to salvage some parts from it if you want to pop the case open.
Yep. Then that's what I'll do. I'll pop the case
Sweet.
open.
So you open up the case. Bishop, do you want to just roll me one more search?
Lower than 7.
How many hits have you already got? So 1, 2, 4. Sorry, 6, 6. Yeah, roll it at 6 for me.
Bloop.
Sweet. So that gives you 7 net hits. You've been through all of the boxes, and on the last box, you found that one power supply that had that off voltage that didn't seem to be the same sort of part that you're after, that Jack had showed you. But what you do find is you find some what is essentially spare parts for small drones, so like fly spies, rotor drones, that sort of stuff. And you think, this could actually be really useful. And at the bottom underneath the spare parts, there's like a toolkit that would allow you to work on various drones. So you've got some equipment there.
Look what I found. Didn't they say some drones needed fixing or something?
Yeah, and Propeller Head's like, oh yeah, sorry man, I completely forgot. And he like opens there's like a storage chest next to the workbench, and he opens it up, and there's 2 fly spies sitting in there in various states of disrepair, broken wings, smashed optics, that sort of gear. And they said, again, like KE come in and we had these, and they would just smash them and like shoot them down out of the sky, and we just keep salvaging stuff to see if we can get it working. But I really need the cyber deck up and running, because if I can do that, I can probably work on the drones. Like I'm okay with those, but I can't fix this cyber deck. I don't know, something's not right. So maybe we need to put the power supply in. Maybe he's like, I don't know. Like if that's a spare power supply, like I don't even know if it's the same, but it looks like it. We could try it. I mean, my deck's fried anyway.
It's different voltages, but couldn't you convert it? Like, people do that, right, with a transformer?
Yeah, I don't think I've got a transformer, but he grabs the power supply that Jacket pulled out of the broken deck. He looks at it and he's like, oh no, this seems to be like nearly the same. I guess it'll work. I mean, I don't mind. It doesn't work anyway.
Let's
and he
try
hands
it.
it back to Jacket. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to cut back to the nursing group. So where was I? So you guys were...
We were interviewing
patients. Yep, so you're interviewing patients. So you can speak to the 4 patients that... you could speak to the 4 of those. The 4 that were sort of... They're really in there for like minor surgeries and things, and they'll probably be out within a day once the wound's clean and they're able to get out and about in the community again. Your concern really is focused, like you're really concerned, especially you, Shiloh, because you're worried about that possible influenza diagnosis. You don't really want the flu in a ward. It's you're surprised he's not even on precautions. Using your first aid knife.
Let's maybe put him on some precautions.
Yep. So, do you want to go over and assess the kid?
Yes, absolutely.
Let's do that now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So you'll glove up because you've worked out and you've told Warden that there's a possible influenza diagnosis, and actually one of the nurses comes over and they say, they were thinking it's